Bellator 276, got a nice wicked fight here with Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful himself, taking on Julius Anglickas. It's going to be a good fight, this one. But before we get into it, guys, this video is sponsored by Full Reptile Collective, brought to you by Dan Hardy. Head over to their website at fullreptile.co.uk where you can find anything from training gear, t-shirts, hoodies, all the way to coffee. For an exclusive 10% off, use Dan Said So at checkout. Make sure to also check out their YouTube channel for some of the best MMA content out there, bar my own. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, let's start with Phil Davis then. Phil Davis to me was one of those guys that should never have left the UFC, but he left years ago. I think his last fight in the UFC was to Ryan Bader. It was a long time ago. He's had a lot of fights in Bellator since. He's been, you know, ridiculously successful in Bellator, let's put it that way. His last fight out against Yoel Romero was a fight I thought he would just take. I thought stylistically he suits someone like Romero, who is very flat-footed these days. He's lost a lot of the energy. He still looks like an absolute superhero, but he wasn't ever going to reach the heights he did when he was fighting Robert Whittaker, when he was really motivated, I would say. I think the move to Bellator showed his motivation. I think he's looking for one little cash cow, and Phil Davis could make that work in his favour, because Phil to me isn't someone that ever looked for a cash cow. He almost loves the competition element way too much to worry about all the money side of things, and he's got the skill set for this division, which is, you know, it's so close to being the ultimate skill set, but he's made it work for him. He's had ups and downs, Nemkov being the downs recently. Nemkov is phenomenal, and you know, it's somewhere where him and Anglickas also have very comparable opponents in Nemkov, where Davis was super competitive with Nemkov, whereas Anglickas kind of got, other than a really good right hand he threw in the first round, kind of got rinsed and repeated with the ground game, whereas Phil Davis, I feel, has the wrestling that Nemkov kind of possesses to kind of make that his game plan against Anglickas. So breaking McGeary's jaw was brilliant. That it was that sharp left, and then he instantly went to a double leg and got into a mount position. That's the kind of technicality that Phil kind of possesses here, because his grappling is phenomenal, but he has got sharp hands as well, and he kind of put an old school beats up the new school kind of guy with Elbrexton as well. You know, dominated him, rinsed him against the cage, and just, you know, he just had nothing for him. It was just simple trips, outworked him and showed him, look, there's levels, mate. Welcome to the big leagues. Once you get past me, you're ready for titles. You know, that's the kind of stage, and Carl was just not ready for that heat, and he got dominated. Phil Davis has an incredible left hand. He's got incredible power for that wrestling. He's super athletic. He's got great submission game. You've seen him with Kimuras. You've seen him absolutely decimate people with ground and pound. You've seen him knock out people standing, head kicks. The amount of technicality Phil Davis has is up there with the best of them. I still think he'd be super competitive within the UFC bracket. I think he'd be in that around the top 5 mark. I really rate Phil Davis extremely highly, but I want to talk about more the challenge for Anglickas here, because he looks really good with a lot less experience than Phil. He showed that he can hang with Nemkov and people of that caliber for a while, but he didn't really have the skill set to kind of push his own game upon someone else, dictate any form of pace other than that first punch he threw. Let's talk about him. So Anglickas came in, I'm pretty sure as well, it was short notice against Nemkov. He's got very good hands, and he showed it within the first minute. First, he cracks Nemkov, sits him down, but from that moment on, he kind of got excited. In my opinion, he kind of got excited, and Nemkov used his brain and just went, okay, basics, let's go fundamentals. Ripped into the floor, recovered, and then rinse and repeat. He saw success on the floor. He kept chasing submissions, and Anglickas kept leaving his arms on the floor. It showed that. Now I know Anglickas is good grappling because he's shown it in previous fights as well. He's shown that he can take someone down, grind them out, win a decision, which is exactly what you've got to do to get your way to the top. Nemkov showed, I'm going to grind you out, and I'm going to be relentless. I'm going to chase the victory. I'm going to finish you instead of settle for just take you down, grind you out for 5 rounds. He chased multiple arm bars through those fights. He chased multiple Kimuras and eventually did get one in round 4. You know, the tap was coming. By the time it was the 4th round, Julius was exhausted from it. The pressure Nemkov put on him was ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to put too much, you know, all my chips into that fight with analysing this one, because Nemkov is a level above. He's even above Phil Davis, and I rate Phil Davis highly. Nemkov is just one of those talents. Anglickas has so much technicality, so much skill, that I really believe he could compete with Phil Davis. I think he's going to be competitive, more competitive than he was, especially in the striking. That's going to be one major part. He's going to be more competitive than he was with Nemkov, but the striking here is where it's going to change, because wrestling-wise, Phil Davis has the edge all day. All day. The transitions he poses as well, where Phil Davis, once he gets you down, he will move into a dominant spot. He will not sit there and rain heavy shots. He will move into the correct position to land the correct shot. If he feels you're up against the cage, okay, he's going to trap that leg, hold one of your wrists, and pound you with the other arm. He's not going to just sit in half guard and just rain heavy punches like Mark Coleman used to do. Times have changed. Phil Davis evolves. He's evolved with age. He's still like he's a fine wine, Phil Davis, to me. I feel like the pressure on Anglickas is gonna mount. I feel like if he's got anywhere he can land, it's when they close that distance. When he darts in, he's got great movement, darting in and out. He loves the bounce. He's got absolute very light feet for such a big guy. And I think that jab is going to be money for him. If he can keep Phil Davis on the end, if he can keep him at range, piece him up, make it a little frustrating for Phil, make Phil make a mistake, make him rush in, pay him with the knees. And I think that's going to be weight. I think if he chases the wrestling in any department here, I think it's going to just be a very decision-based win for Phil Davis. I think Phil could easily just out-grapple him. Easily. I think, you know, a ground and pound against the cage, a Kimura, similar to how Nemkov, I can see Phil Davis just completely taking that blueprint, putting it over here and going, well, I can do that. That's easy. There's not enough time between October, when the Nemkov fight happened, and now, that Anglickas has completely changed his game to defend all of those attacks. There's just no way. I could do that. But Phil doesn't work like that. MMA maths doesn't work like that. I would love to hear other guys' opinions on this. I'd love to hear your opinions on this, because Anglickas has a lot of style here. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of bounce. He moves very well. He moves better than Davis, I would argue, especially just in and out darting. I think he can land the jab. He can land his counter shots. Make Phil panic. Make him frustrated. Make him question his game plan and his coaching. Have we got the right thing here? And then you can land those power shots like the one he sat Nemkov down with. Phil, to me, keep up the wrestling, keep the pressure on him, stick to a game plan with Anglickas, because he is crisp, he has got good striking, he's got great cardio. He showed that, you know, he was getting taken down for four rounds against Nemkov, and he didn't look knackered. He looked defeated because nothing was working, but he didn't look tired. So I'm going to go Phil Davis with this. I think it's a safe bet. I like Anglickas. I think he's the future of the division. He's still raw. He's still got a lot of things to work on. I think he's gone on one of those crazy win streaks where, you know, people have gone, ooh, I think he's ready for this. And he just wasn't quite, but that was the test. Nemkov was just too much, but I believe it was short notice. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, will let me know about that one. What do you guys think is going to happen in this one? I think it's a really good fight. Bellator have been putting up really good fights recently. There's going to be a lot more Bellator on this channel, which I hope you guys like. Check out more. We've done the Gegard Mousasi and Austin Vanderford one. If you haven't checked that one out, guys, link will be below. Yeah, let me know, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please like the channel, subscribe to it if you are new, share it around, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers all.